So my name is Abdo Hassan. I studied software engineering and anthropology. I have my bachelor's from American University in Cairo and my master's from King's College London. And I've just arrived here 3 weeks ago. So,
Okay.
and I'm working with a media lab currently
And
at a chatbot for designers, part of the Scream project.
okay. Just wanted to start by maybe asking you a little bit about why you chose Amsterdam.
Well, choosing Media Lab itself was an integral part of Amsterdam, but an incentive to come here was that it's a very innovative environment and it's a melting pot of international students and workers, and it's a place where I thought would be very appropriate for my vision and career. So.
Okay.
My vision and the city's vision were in sync, and I thought being here would be very
So
helpful.
it's very much you came to Amsterdam particularly because of the fact that it was the media lab, but also because of the way Amsterdam as a city is.
And where it places itself in the industry, and when it comes to research, they're very experimental, and they're very progressive when it comes to research. So I thought being here is good for my personal growth as well.
Okay, excellent.
So.
And you've never visited Amsterdam before? Or
No, I have not.
So what did you do any research about the city other than the academic and research side of it?
Yes.
Did you do any other research about it?
I decided that I would come here on a bit of a short notice. So I didn't do a lot of research. I came here with a series of assumptions, though, from I guess pop culture or whatever rumors that were about the city. Some of them turned out to be how it was, and some of them turned out to be a bit different, for the better, for the worse.
What were the ones what sort of assumptions that you had turned out to be true?
That turned out to be true. Well, the city being lively and being somewhat unexpected, and away from the normal, so that it has a very distinct profile in relation to other cities.
Okay.
So that it really places itself away from the mainstream common attractions.
Okay.
And I think that's true, that Amsterdam has its uniqueness, its own fingerprint.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Architecture
Yeah.
definitely is one of the things that highly publicized about Amsterdam, and I was not disappointed at all. Everything is built beautifully around the city. How organized the city is,
Okay.
or how people are attached to it, the love of the people to the city, how Amsterdammers love Amsterdam, was one thing you could instantly see with the flags around. And yeah.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Anything that any stereotypes or assumptions that weren't true? What sort of things did you get from that one?
I had the impression that the city was a bit more colorful.
Okay.
Even though it is colorful now, but I had vibrant, the mix of blue, red, and green buildings.
Yeah.
For some reason, I had that image in my head. I didn't find that when I came, which is a bit unfamiliar. I'm like, where is the part where everything's very colorful? But instead, I still got a sense of warmth from the city instead of the color, and I think it works just as fine.
Okay. So you had some expectations, but you weren't. You hadn't done a lot of research. Most of it was focused on the university and the media lab.
Yes, and then I've researched in a few days before I came about places where I could go, main attractions, about.
So how did you do that research?
I used as many channels. I used forums. I asked a few friends that have been here. I asked a friend who lived in The Hague that went to school with me. And then I just compiled a list of things that I could do or should do or should keep in mind while at the city.
So you have a sort of like an Amsterdam bucket list?
Yes.
What's on the bucket list? What are your top things you must do while you're here?
That's the thing. For me, how I experience the city is usually not certain attractions, but certain walking paths around the city, for example.
Okay.
Or planning the days. Like, let's say have a pedal boat, have a pedal boat from this part of the city to this part of the city, and then there's this place that serves really good beer at the end of your trip. So it's just go through the whole experience.
Okay. But you arrived here, so did anything strike you when you first arrived? How did it go, your arrival?
Oh, well, apart from the pretext to my arrival, which is a bit messy, the weather was really good. The city is compared to London, especially the central parts, are a bit stressful in just the rhythm that people live their lives. Here it's a much more laid back rhythm, so I instantly felt that change in rhythm in the city. And yeah, everything was Dutch, so obviously the language was a bit of a barrier. But it was still very manageable, so because everyone was the English, and then I was kind of, closing my eyes and testing my way around things, not expecting much, because I've done a bit of traveling before and I've moved a lot. So I'm kind of used to that, the inconvenience of going to a new place for the first time.
So in terms of the language side of things, have you had any barriers because of the language, or is it been... It
was a bit of a weird dynamic because I've been told when people speak Dutch to me, I don't look taken back. So they confidently carry on the conversation. So when I go in a grocery store, people speak Dutch to me, and then I just wait. I act on the context. And when I find that I can't wiggle my way through it anymore, I actually declare that I don't speak English, and people seem taken back or kind of confused or offended. So that's something I need to work on. I think one of my seniors at work told me that maybe because I look Moroccan, so it's easy for people to assume that I'm Dutch. So yeah, that was an interesting thing that happens to me.
Interesting experience.
It is, yeah.
In terms of getting around in daily life, you have an apartment here in Amsterdam?
Yes.
And is it close to the centre, or?
Yeah, it's in the Pipe, so it's pretty close.
In terms of getting around the city, how do you travel around?
Walk or bicycle?
So you have done the bicycle thing?
I have done. I bought my own cycle. It's been refreshing, and it's been liberating and refreshing.
Why those two things?
Because I don't think I've lived in a city where it was cyclable before. But now it's incredible. Cyclists get priority.
It is very unusual.
Yeah, they get priority, and this seems to be the right place for my fascination with cycling.
You enjoy cycling anyway?
Very much, very much.
So how do you find the attitude of the cyclists in Amsterdam?
Sometimes a bit aggressive, but it's justifiably aggressive.
Okay. So you haven't found that a little bit sort of like worrying, or you've not found yourself on the receiving end of aggressive?
I did, but it's very justifiable.
What did you do?
Sometimes because I wasn't aware that there's cyclists before the cars, because I'm just used to it. You cross the road, there's no cars, you cross. But oftentimes there'd be like a cyclist kind of racing down.
You're a pedestrian.
When I'm pedestrian.
Okay.
So, but when I'm cycling, not really.
Have you had much help from the university in terms of information, things to do, that sort of stuff?
They've only facilitated my entrance to the Netherlands, basically. Arrange meetings with them with the expat center. Get me the visa, but that's it.
So in terms of things like the public transport, card, bank account, setting up a bank account?
Not really.
This has all been stuff you had to do yourself?
Yeah.
And how did that go?
I wasn't very sure what I had to do at some point, and most of the documents are in Dutch. But eventually, nothing is... I think it's, compared to the bureaucracy I've been used to, it's a bit more lenient.
Have you got any plans in terms of travel, things you want to see. You've got your sort of like bucket list of experiences.
Yes.
Are there any other things that you, outside of the Netherlands or outside of Amsterdam, you're really
Definitely. I have, so most of my friends that I acquired beforehand are in cities outside of Amsterdam, within the Netherlands, like The Hague, Rotterdam, someone in Utrecht, so I'll be visiting all of them. I'll be trying the intercity cycling between here and Utrecht.
Oh yes.
Yeah, which is, it's not too far. But
No,
it's
still
2-3 hours. Yeah.
It's flat, which is
And it's flat. Yeah, I've been just told not to do it against the wind, so just to check the wind. Yes.
So you're going to do a little bit of travelling around. But how about in Amsterdam? I mentioned the bucket list. Are there any must-sees?
In Amsterdam, mostly for the cultural space they provide. So it was mostly event-based.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm just looking out for things that will happen. For me, it's not really about the place, more about the people in the place.
Okay.
So it's just good experiences with good people.
Okay, cool.
So.
Okay.